Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jackson jet setting flight review. And today we are back in Switzerland flying on Swiss Air because I had some stranded Singapore Airlines miles that I needed to use before they expired. So we're flying business class from Zurich, Switzerland, all the way to Boston in the United States. It's my first time checking in at Zurich Airport. I've been through here on a layover many years ago. We are flying business class. We have access to a few business class lounges. I wanted to check out this relatively new Swiss Air Alpine lounge that's got kind of an Alpine theme to it, and also some kind of bespoke food opportunities as well, which I thought was really cool. Overall, I really liked the lounge experience at Zurich Airport flying business class. Lots of options, and since we were flying in the US, this lounge was located before all the customs facilities, and then you have to take a train over to the main terminal for US and more international flights. Very empty lounge when we arrived in the morning around 11 a.m. So that's always great to see. Plenty of seating, obviously. And this whole lounge just really a cool feel, very calming, almost like you're in a sauna or something with all the wood, which was really cool. So we have the booze and wine options. I really do like the self-serve wine machine over there, and then some 2 Swiss beers on tap, as well as some Swiss liquor, and then all your international favorites. Then you had a cold and hot buffet, some soups and various little salad options. And then from the chef, I grabbed a little dessert, which was really good, almost like a Belgian waffle, but Swiss style, so really good there. So we took the train over to the international terminal and then headed to the Swiss Air business class lounge for departing passengers. Swiss Air does have a first class lounge as well as a lounge for their own elites, so things are kind of separated there. I will say that both these lounges were pretty hot on a hot summer day, not a lot of air conditioning going on in here, so just keep that in mind if you're sensitive to hot temperatures. Something to be aware of, especially in Europe during the summer. Just not as air conditioned as the United States, but lots of food options here as well. Apologies for the little strobe light there. It wasn't strobing in person, it's just the way that the frame rate lines up with the LEDs. Nice little coffee machine station there, and then a cool little Breitling interaction that you can sit on. And make our way to the kind of lounge room towards the back. There's also a deck that you can watch from the outdoors, planes taking off and landing, which is fun. They also have some chef-made pizzas, which is pretty cool. So they'll have chefs walking around and making the items fresh in the lounge, which is always great to see. A little relaxation area as well. Not really a good place to get like a full night's sleep or anything, but a good place to rest before your flight. But then, before we knew it, it was time for us to board. A little bit of a delay, about an hour and a half on the ground due to some France airstrikes, Zurich being pretty close to French airspace, that's going to affect them. So we waited a little bit before getting on the plane, and then on the plane we had to wait another extra hour. We were on the first to board. The premium economy cabin looked pretty nice as well. Always like to feature that. And here are our seats. So this is a A330-300. We've flown on this plane before, last summer from Geneva to New York, so I was excited to be back on board, but actually be on this side of the plane up against the windows this time. Not really a competitive seat nowadays, unfortunately, but we really did like the service on our last flight, and we were excited to try out the service on this flight. Us traveling as a couple, the shortcomings of the seat are not really a big deal because my wife, who wanted to sit on the window, could climb over me if she needed to use the restroom. But if you're traveling alone, it becomes a little awkward if you're not on that aisle seat. Pretty standard amenity kit from Victorinox, which is a Swiss brand. Hope I said that right. Had some champagne and some non-alcoholic beverages for my wife before we took off, which was great. Overall, the service on this flight was really friendly. Here's the controls for the seats. I really didn't love the controls of the seats because sometimes to control the TV, it was a little bit in your way while you were laying down, and then if you're lying upright and you wanted to change your seat, it's easy to do, but if your arm could actually accidentally hit some buttons there. Here's a look at some of the menus. You can zoom in and check out what was available, and we'll show you what we ate. think at least in the States that Swiss wine is not really well known or exported too much. Really do love all the Swiss wine. Again, they're right in the middle of France and Italy, so lots of good wine growing regions in Switzerland, and I really enjoyed all the Swiss wines on board. So we were in seat 14A and B. It's in the very back of the business class cabin. There's 45 seats in business class, so not necessarily a personal experience even for business class standards. There's only 8 seats in first class, so if you're looking for that, there are possibilities to redeem for those seats with miles. Again, we use Singapore miles, so those are able to be used for Sky Team partners. We found this flight, which worked out well for us getting back to Phoenix through Boston. A little bit of wine and some nuts there to start our meal. And then I had a little terrine, which I normally wouldn't get. Actually was pretty good. And then an amazing short rib. The menus, if you notice, are actually from Bern during this summer. So they try and do a little Taste of Switzerland action there. So that was really great. Then we enjoyed the rest of our flight. And then before landing, we had a delicious little bowl here. Another lunchtime service. So overall, a great flight on Swiss Airlines.